Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered Vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jacula.
And today we're going to talk about Brand New Cherry Flavor, which is a Netflix limited series based on the book of the same name, and is a horror series about a girl who moves to Hollywood to get her short film made, and then gets enraptured in a world of witchcraft, revenge, and sexual assault.
Yeah.
It is not a show for the faint of heart, but it is 100% a show up our alley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look. You fan of fucking Joe Bob's Last Drive-In Show? You will love this series.
Yes.
Because it is all the things, it has all the things that a good movie... It's not even a movie, it's weird, because it's a series.
It's a series.
It's one of those ones that feels like a movie.
It feels like an 8-hour movie.
Yeah.
It's 8 episodes. Each episode's about like 45 minutes to an hour long.
Self-contained story with a little bit of with definitely something at the end that would allow for another season if they wanted it.
It completes its story, but there's wiggle room if they wanted to continue it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm fine if they do, but they don't need to.
No, it does not need to.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No, I kind of wanted to have sex with this limited series.
Yeah, me too.
Holy crap.
That's the thing I want to tell you about this movie, is that you're going to hear a lot of things about this show, if you haven't already, about like how gross it gets, how gnarly it gets, and how fucked up the show is. But let me tell you right now, even with that, you're going to want to fuck the show. It is sexy as all goddamn hell. It is it's one of the new 90s throwbacks things. It's set in the early 90s in Los Angeles during the film industry. It's shot with that same kind of like 80s throwback look that we've been having recently.
Well, it's got the lighting.
The lighting. It's got the neon lighting.
I noticed that
the
blocking is very modern. But the lighting is very 80s.
The blocking is modern, the lighting is 80s, and the soundtrack is 90s.
Yeah.
That's basically kind of what you got going on here, this weird kind of mixture. And because it's set in the early 90s, it's also during that transitionary period between 80s and 90s. So you get a little bit of both aesthetics happening at the same time.
Yeah. It's super trippy.
It's super trippy. And it also has a lot of... It's oozing with sexuality. Your main character is bisexual, and they make no bones about that pretty early on.
Oh, yeah. This thing doesn't have a lot of nudity, but it has it.
And because it's about the entertainment industry, there's a lot of sex and shit going on, and scandal, as well as sexual assault. But that's mainly at the very beginning, and then for the rest of the show, it's like catharsis.
Yeah, there is a little bit of like sex lies and videotape.
Yeah.
It's got magic in it.
Yeah. This is not a spoiler, because if you've read anything about this show, then you've heard about this. I think it's even in one of the fucking trailers. But this show, throwing up cats, man.
Yeah.
Barfing up cats. And if
we better put the warning in here.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily see bad things that happen to cats as they're happening, but they happen.
Yeah, it's very much implied that there are dead cats in this.
Yeah.
But I want to stress this, the cats that are thrown up are not dead.
Yeah.
They're
alive.
They're birthed out of mouths.
Yeah. Yeah, the main character just periodically vomits up a kitten.
Yeah, for plot reasons, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section, because this plot is awesome.
It happens more than once.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, she got vomit up a cat and it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and like, to show you how much this is not really a spoiler, episode 1 it happens, so.
Yeah, that's the end of the first episode. And that's the first, like, overtly magical thing that happens, and it just keeps, like, growing from there till at the end of it, it's almost a purely magical fight.
Some other works that I think if you like, you'll also like this. This movie very much gave me some vibes similar to Starry Eyes.
Oh yeah.
If you like Starry Eyes, that whole girl in Hollywood deals with devils.
Yeah.
Things like
if you
that.
like Starry Eyes, but you could have used with the occult being a little bit more overt.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not quite as subtle.
Yeah. Then you're definitely gonna like this.
Fucking... You could tell that fucking the Neon Demon was a major visual inspiration.
If you like the Neon Demon, you're definitely gonna like this. Mulholland Drive.
There's a lot of Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway, like 2 David Lynch films. I felt a lot of them in this. Even Wild at Heart, a little bit of that. It's not Wizard of Oz, but like
No, but it's got that same level of like, what the fuck just happened?
exactly. You know, so I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of Lynch in this too.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that make thematic sense but don't make literal sense.
Yes. And as the magic as the magic starts to take over the story, things get weirder and weirder, and you end up in these some zones where you're not sure what's real and what's literal, or what's literal and what's metaphorical. Yeah. But here's the thing: most of the time, it's both literally happening and also a metaphor. Like,
yeah.
So
it's usually both. It's very easy to. It's not that hard to follow.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as hard to follow as like Mulholland Drive, which. Whoa, that was a movie where you just were like, David, let me in a little bit, please.
Oh, that I will stress this. If you're the kind of person who has trouble with David Lynch films because he rarely lets you in on what's going on, this show does a good job of letting you in.
Yeah.
You're never going to be lost. You're going to have a lot of what the fuck moments, but the show definitely takes care to make you understand what the fuck moment was as it goes on.
Yeah. You understand what is literally happening.
You know, you're never gonna be like, wait, what about this? What about... No, it's all gonna make sense.
Yeah. It's not like Mulholland Drive where you're like, why are we doing the same scene 3 times in a row? I don't get it.
By the end of the show,
it doesn't make sense until you really think about it.
Yeah, it just takes its time piecing out the information, and that kind of lends it to this weirdness. Which honestly, it's kind of like a Twin Peaks if it had definitive answers.
Yes. Yeah, well, actually it does, but you have to see the 3rd season.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I have not watched the 3rd season.
Yeah.
So.
But the other, I think another way of putting it is it's the 3rd season of Twin Peaks, but there's a little bit that just sort of goes, all right, in case you missed it.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Oh, another piece of work that if you liked it, you'll probably like this, the movie Bliss. The Joe Begos film Bliss. Definitely got a lot of bliss in this.
Yeah, there is.
That same kind of like gritty underground world.
For like funny thing was when I started watching it for like about half a second, I actually wondered if Joe Begos was involved in the production of the film.
Jack hasn't seen this movie yet, but if you've seen the vampire movie Bit, which is also set in Los Angeles, there's a little bit of that in this movie as well. That's the movie about the trans girl who joins a group of female vampires, and then they start getting revenge on a bunch of men and stuff. It's got a little bit of that in here as well.
Okay. Oh God! For some reason, I thought you were talking about The Shed. I was like,
no, not The Shed.
I was in LA.
No, this is definitely The Shed's a completely different place.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. The Bit. It was just called BIT.
Shout out to what's her name?
Rose Salazar or something
Plays
like that?
the witch.
Oh, the witch. Oh, Catherine Keener, I think.
Catherine Keener, yeah.
You might know her from such stuff as 40-Year-Old Virgin. She was the love interest in that. Death of Smoochie. She's been in a lot of stuff. She plays the main witch, who's kind of like the Baron Samedi of the show.
Yeah. Oh, dude. She fucking steals the show.
She's amazing.
Holy crap.
Like, let me put it this way. Like, you see her early on in the show, but her true introduction to who she really is, you're introduced to her putting a tattoo on a character that you're pretty sure is a zombie. It's like,
yep.
And it's like a tattoo of like a big fucking like panther or something, and you're like, whoa, what the
fuck is this? And a lot of it has to do with like Aztec mythology.
Yeah,
actually, it might be Mayan, but like definitely like Central
whichever one is connected to Brazil.
Oh, that would be South American. That would probably that might not even be Mayan. That might actually be something.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like referring to Brazil for plot reasons. Yeah,
that's true. That is like the main character. She's born in Brazil.
Yep. And there's a lot about her past that comes up as the story goes on.
Yeah. I actually forget what the big indigenous like culture of Brazil was.
There's probably someone who watched the show and knows what it is, so feel free to tell us below.
Yeah. Because the farther down you get to like actual South America, like. I'm a stupid American. Like, there's like Aztecs, Mayans, and I don't know, maybe Incas.
Yeah.
You know, like that's unfortunately where I am with that.
Other people I want to give some shout outs to. I think it's Rose or Rosa Salazar. She was the I'll put her name right here, but she was the
she's the main character.
Yeah, she's the main character, and she was also Alita in the Battle Angel Alita movie.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
like, okay, that's why I was the entire time going like, I feel like I recognize
Well,
her,
yeah.
but I don't.
Because in
you know?
Battle Angel Alita, they made her already large eyes larger.
Yeah, which
So, like-
I'm gonna be honest, I thought that was unnecessary.
Yeah, watching her in this, like, she's like, whoa, look at those eyes.
Yeah. She's already got those like eyes that you just kind of fall
I'm
into.
not gonna lie, even though you learned some nefarious things about her over the course of the show, I had a huge crush on this character.
Well, she's definitely a girl that I would have dated in the 90s.
Yeah,
You know, like.
She does a great job as this main character. Also, I do not know the actor's name, but the actor that plays the sleazy movie producer, like,
Dude, he's
Yeah.
amazing.
like he was so fucking charismatic that he almost tricks you into believing he's not as sleazy as he is.
yeah, which is of course the whole idea behind the
Yeah.
character, you know?
And what I also like about him is as the show goes on, he's still a bad guy, but you start to understand him more when you get towards the end. Like, you
Yeah.
start to understand how he ticks a little bit more. And I think with a lesser actor, that wouldn't have worked.
No.
But because
no.
he was so good, you buy it.
Well, yeah, because you have to get the thing about this guy, this sleazy Hollywood producer, is there's a point in the story where you have to believe that he cares about somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, despite the fact that he literally he almost chokes a woman to death.
And also, just a small shout out to, there's a character named Code in this movie who's played by, one of the actors from The Good Place, the Asian guy. I cannot remember his name, but it was a pleasure to see him in this.
Yeah.
He plays a character that I don't know how else to put it, but he's kind of like a very chill version of Jack.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
He's like the guy
knew
who
you were gonna fucking say
the
that.
guy who's connected to all the people in the drug underworld, but not directly doing all the bad shit.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, like there's a point in which she goes to him and is just like, look, I need 2 guys to break into a house. And he's just like, do you really want to do this or whatever? And she finally talks him into it. He's like, I know some guys.
Manny Jacinto.
Yes, that guy.
Manny Jacinto.
He-
That's odd. I would have. Wait, he has a Spanish last name. Oh, he's probably Filipino. Okay,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Filipino. Okay, that's
Yeah.
all right. That's why.
I'm familiar with him from The Good
Yeah,
Place.
and the guy who played Lou, the Hollywood producer, is Eric Lang.
Derek Lang, awesome. I'm familiar with him from The Good Place, but he was really great in this, and I totally bought him as the guy that's super fucking chill but knows people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was very much great. He was very great. So yeah, brand new cherry flavor. If anything we've talked about so far has enticed you, it is currently available on Netflix. It is a Netflix limited series. Maybe if it's popular enough, it'll be more than a limited series, but it works 100% as a limited series. So it's complete, to put it that way. So go check it out on Netflix. And with that said, you ready to move on to the spoilers?
Oh yes.
All right, so let us move on to the spoilers.
Dude. Okay, so strap in, kids. So the big spoiler is that the witch is actually a fucking spirit of like an Amazonian warrior from like 4,000 years
Yeah,
ago.
who became basically an emperor.
Yeah.
Or like whatever the equivalent of an emperor is.
Yeah.
And he did it because he got into a relationship with a jaguar spirit.
Yeah, Jaguar Goddess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of their relationship, he was able to gain all these riches and gain this army and this empire that eventually came crashing down because he has a falling out with the jaguar.
With the Jaguar Goddess. Yeah. And the thing is you find yourself going like, here's the thing. In a lesser story, it would have been real easy to say Jaguar Goddess good,
yeah,
Aztec warriors, or fucking Amazonian warriors guy bad.
Yes,
That's
and notice,
not the case.
And also notice how we keep referring to him as him and a guy. So note that the character is a woman and a witch later on in the story. So there's some interesting like transness happening here.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Definitely. But yeah, Kathleen Keener is playing a male character the entire time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really liked is when you find out like why oh god, I can't even remember the character's name. Was that Bodo?
Buka?
Buka. Yeah.
I'll put it right here, whatever it is.
Yeah. So when you find out why Buka and the Jaguar Goddess like had a falling out, you just sort of like, Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, well, yeah, man. Come on.
Yep.
You know, like that's a bridge too far.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And you basically found out that he's been siphoning off energy from the Jaguar to live forever.
Yeah.
And
Because he can jump bodies.
Yes, he's got the what do you call it, the what's the sci-fi show with the guy who jumps bodies?
Oh, talk about Quantum Leap.
Yeah, he's got quantum leap powers.
He's got a bit of a quantum leap power, but he can only do it so often. He can only do
Yep.
it like once every 10 years or so.
And basically, what you find out over the course of the story is that the girl, who we follow throughout most of the story, when she comes to Hollywood and ends up getting into a deal and a partnership with this one producer, and then the producer tries to sleep with her. She doesn't want to sleep with him, and then he basically drops her like a bad habit.
Yeah.
And then takes her short film and starts to make a movie on his own.
Yeah.
Fucking her over completely. That this girl, she thinks she came to Hollywood to get this short film made, but she was actually drawn there for reasons that she doesn't quite understand.
Yeah, yeah. The Amazonian warrior spirit actually summons her.
Basically cast a spell to summon her because, and here's where the big spoilers come in, it turns out that she is the daughter of the Jaguar spirit.
Yeah.
So basically, look at the spoiler section as us explaining things if you didn't get it. She is the daughter of the Jaguar spirit. So through her, if he can manipulate enough out of her, he can get more Jaguar energy to keep on going.
Yeah, it's heavily implied that what happened was that, like, her dad, like, the Jaguar spirit it jumps into a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and that woman has sex with her dad. She gives birth to the girl and then fucks off.
Yeah. Because the Jaguar spirit doesn't have their original form anymore because it was turned into a couch.
Yeah. The original body is now a fucking Jaguar skin couch.
And okay, so you have like these really trippy David Lynch sequences where like a fucking trap door appears in her apartment and it doesn't go to the floor below. It goes into the spirit world, which looks kind of like the Further, where it's all black and like dirt.
Yeah.
And there's just like a fucking couch
it's
sitting
like
there.
a fucking duvet sitting there.
Like this Jaguar like Art Deco couch just fucking sitting there, and then like an eyeball in the ground, and then a woman with no face starts accosting her, and like you have these trippy sequences like that, and it literally happens. It's not just dreams.
Yeah,
She
it's
doesn't
not just a dream sequence.
She doesn't just wake up because the trapdoor stays there for the rest of the show. And you're wondering, what the fuck was that? What the fuck is anything? And then later you find out, oh, the Jaguar was turned into a couch. The woman with no face is the Jaguar, and the reason why she has no face is because
the daughter's never seen her face.
Yeah,
because she just gave birth to her. It's like, all right, here you go, bye.
Because she's using her daughter's magic to kind of make a form for her subconscious and making it real. It's magic, metaphysical shit.
There's a lot of magical shit that happens.
Because one of the ways magic works in this movie is that for the witch and for the main character, they can will things to happen, but they have to will it.
Yeah.
And they have to will it hard enough because the magic is inside them. In the witch's case, it's because she keeps drinking Jaguar blood. And she starts getting a new supply of Jaguar blood because she agrees to help the main character with her revenge against the producer. And in exchange for this, she starts barfing up these little baby Jaguar cats.
Jaguar cats. Yeah, Jaguar kittens.
And it turns out that these things are basically her magic, her essence. She's birthing up little portions of her magic thing, and so basically the goal of the witch is to siphon as much magic as possible until she has enough energy to hop bodies into the main character, and then just take that body, and then she doesn't need to siphon Jaguars anymore because she'll just be in one of those bodies.
She'll have a body that will last.
Yes. And that's her ultimate goal. But throughout the entire story, you're watching her play this chess game with all these characters to get everything she wants, and you're trying to figure out what her game is. But she always keeps her cards close to her chest. But it all makes sense.
Yeah. The big spoiler is, though the story is resolved, the fight between the main character and the Aztec spirit is not resolved.
Yeah. It's one of those that they will probably meet another day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the little dangling thing if they wanted to do a season 2.
I don't know how they would
I don't know
do
how,
that.
because I don't know if there's a sequel.
I don't even know if there's a sequel to the book.
I have no clue. But like, if it stays ending where it is, I'm fine with that too.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, let me put it this way: I would watch it, but I would be highly skeptical of the second season. You know, like, they would have to prove it to me.
And so far in the spoiler section, we've just talked about the revelations that you get towards the end of the story.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fucking weird shit we did not talk about pre-spoilers that are total spoilers. Like, there's a point in which the main character decides, I'm done throwing up cats. And so the witch is like, yes, all right, you're done throwing up cats. And then she forms...
She grows a vagina under her rib
cage and starts birthing cats from that. And then she realizes that it is a vagina and has sex with her boyfriend while her boyfriend is fisting
her side.
And her boyfriend is a rising movie star. He's
like a Johnny Depp.
Yeah. He's basically like Johnny Depp back in like the early 90s when Johnny Depp was on the rise.
Right after getting off like 21 Jump Street and shit. Yeah.
Like it's right before Johnny Depp did shit like Edward Scissorhands and became household names, you know.
Yeah.
And so like he's got his own story where he's got like this, he's a rebel, he's like one of those rebels without a cause with a death wish because when he was a kid he accidentally caused his sister to die.
Yeah,
And so he's had that hanging over his head, so there's a part of him with a death wish. And honestly, dating the main character is a sign of that death wish because nothing good comes when he's around her.
Yeah. People die around this girl.
Oh, yeah. Like, okay. So far, we've talked about it like a fantasy story, but this is a horror story. Like,
oh, yeah.
There's fucked up, horrible shit that happens in this. And there's murders. There is spiders that bite you and make your dick so hard you die. Like,
yeah. Yep. There's zombies. Fucking, actually, one of my favorite things is that about this whole thing is that through the entire story, the main character is, up until the last bit, she's doing that classic, well, I don't know what it is I really want, kind of like bullshit, and that's exactly what gets her into trouble.
Yes.
You know, the story actually, like, talks about how that's a problem.
There's actually something I really like about the way this story does, because in the beginning of the story, things feel a little bit more black and white than they do by the end of the story.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the story, she's the young, up-and-coming writer-director who comes to Hollywood with a hot short film, tries to get the short film made into a feature, gets fucked over by a producer who sexually assaults her, and just outright assaults her. And then teams up with a witch to try to get revenge on that person.
Yeah.
You know? And you know that the deal with the witch is kind of like a deal with the devil. It's going to be a double-edged sword in some way.
Something's going to go wrong.
But the impression you get at the beginning of the story is that even though she's a girl who obviously grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, she is not a bad person.
Right. That changes by the end of the story.
By the end of the story, you start to learn that no, much like the movie producer himself, she's almost like a younger version of him and also used people to get to the point where she made that short film.
Yeah.
Like there's like an overall comment about the film industry in general and like how people use each other and then like drop them when they're no longer useful. That they tell that even the person who was sexually assaulted also used people at one point.
Yeah. And physically abused them.
Yes.
So by the end of it, you're not sure who you want to win.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sure who you want to win.
And that's happening simultaneously while you're starting to feel more for the producer when bad things start happening to his family, who even though he cheats on his wife all the time, he actually cares about his son.
Yeah, he cares about his son.
You know, and you get like those really heartbreaking scenes where he's like trying to connect to his son, but his son hates him.
Yeah.
You know, and then his son fucking dies and turns into a zombie, and he has a whole existential crisis.
Yeah. He's trying to take care of his son, the zombie.
Yeah. You know, while his body's falling apart because he's cursed.
Yeah.
And you start to actually feel bad for him by the end of it. Like, not enough to where you don't feel like...
Well, you definitely feel like... You don't feel bad for him dying at the end.
But there's a little bit more humanity as the story goes on, right?
Yeah.
Once you start shedding the producer facade that he has at the beginning of the movie, the facade that makes him look so charming and appealing at first, but then as the story goes on, starts to become more dark and sinister, and then completely drops once he just starts losing everything.
Yeah.
You know, and you start seeing the man beneath. Like, that whole turn is just so well done. You know, same thing with the main character. Watching her facade as kind of like this young upstart. Oh, like, oh no, I wouldn't hurt anybody. Like, how dare you abuse people or whatever. And then kind of learning how she can use people. She even uses her boyfriend multiple times throughout this that she gets throughout it, as well as her friends. In fact, Code, the guy played by the guy from The Good Place, he gets used probably the most by her.
He does.
To the point where he even gets fucking killed as a result of this. You know? And then she ends up like using his body to complete a fucking like spell.
Complete a ritual, yeah.
And you're just like, Jesus, even in death, you're still using him, that poor man. Justice for Code.
Yeah.
Code is kind of like Barb in Stranger Things, where he's the character on the periphery who gets fucked over by everything that's happening.
Yeah, completely doesn't deserve it.
But is a completely nice guy.
Yeah, completely innocent.
So you're like, Justice for Code. So like by the end of the story, you realize that there's a lot of that producer in her, and there's also a human underneath the producer. So like it becomes nice and gray, and I really like it.
Yeah. It was really good.
You know. Oh man, this show, brand new cherry flavor, is great. I do have one question though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you figured it out when you watched it, because I had no idea.
Okay.
Why is it called brand new cherry flavor?
Oh, it's called brand new cherry flavor because it's a marketing slogan that evokes the idea that, oh, we got a brand new thing, just like the old thing. That's why she's the brand new cherry flavor.
Oh, brand new cherry flavor, which has a double meaning in that case, because not only is she the new Jaguar,
yeah,
she is also very much like the producer.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
And she's also like the witch.
Yep.
But especially by the end when she learns she has powers herself.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't have to rely on the witch.
Exactly. It's very much, the title is very much a joke on like, hey, here's the new thing, just like the old thing.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, she has powers. There's a point in which she just fire starters someone.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize that it was her. She thinks it was the witch.
Yeah, but it was her.
It's very obvious it was her. You know, she willed it to happen. Now, the witch takes credit for it because the witch doesn't want her to know what she's capable of.
Yeah.
Because if she knew that, she wouldn't need the witch, and then the witch loses her cash cow, so.
Yep.
Or her blood cow.
I also just love... Oh god, Catherine Keener, holy crap.
Catherine Keener is amazing.
Is amazing in this thing.
Oh my god, like this movie, this show is full of fantastic performances, and the fact that even among those fantastic performances, she still stands out.
Oh yeah.
Says a lot.
Oh yeah.
You know? So good.
She's so fun. Yeah, she is a great villain in this. Oh
absolutely. A great foil. And I even like the points when she starts manipulating the producer too.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. You know what this story really made me want? Have you ever read the Clive Barker story, Cold Hard
Canyon? Yeah.
This show makes me really want someone to adapt that.
Yeah.
You can still set it in the 80s, do the 80s aesthetic thing.
Oh, yeah,
like,
totally.
Like this thing did with the 90s and the 80s.
Totally. I mean, if dude wouldn't be insulted, you'd probably even get fucking, oh god, Marv.
Oh, Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rourke, I should play that character.
I mean, sure.
You know?
Like I really want a Cold Hard Canyon Netflix adaptation just like this, because every time it would go to the witch's house,
yeah,
and it would be like this old Hollywood house, and then on the side of it, it's all this growth that leads into this giant garden with all these statues of like sexy statues, and like I felt like that felt like ripped straight out of Cold Hard Canyon.
Well, one thing I would demand. You have to do those demons at the end.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude,
fuck yeah.
Like, you have to have the Antichrist, you have to have Lilith, and you have to just go buck fucking wild.
All right, so if those of you out there don't know what we're talking about, Cold Hard Canyon is a book by Clive Barker, and it is about a an action star in the 80s who kind of reaches the pinnacle of his career and is now on the downslide, and he gets plastic surgery because his face gets all fucked up, and the plastic surgery just fucks up his face more. It's very what happened to Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting invited to this one mansion up on this hill called Cold Hard Canyon, and ends up in this weird old Hollywood ghost/demon orgy fest.
Yeah, and that's basically the story.
And it's very much filled with a combination of 80s shit and old Hollywood nostalgia. Like we're talking like the golden age of the starlets.
Yeah. Like pre. Like we're talking like Greg Garbo.
Sunset Boulevard. Things
Sunset
like
Boulevard,
that. And between this and the Haunting adaptations they've done, I really want Netflix to adapt that story.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like the thing that they would have to do, like I just said, like the thing they would have to do are like the fucked up demons that show up at the end.
I would agree.
Like,
I would agree.
That's what makes it. That's what makes it
you're
worth.
talking about the ones. Okay, hold on. Can you hand me that tissue right there?
Yeah, sure, you got it.
All right. So in Cold Heart Canyon, the old starlet who lived in that mansion had a zoo, her own private zoo, full of animals. And she often invited people over to have a bunch of sex, orgies. Eventually they start having sex with the fucking animals and creating these weird animal ghost hybrids. So that's Cold Heart Canyon.
What is wait, that's the one, that is the one where like the Antichrist shows up and he's just like a giant penis, right?
I can't remember. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
okay, all right.
Anyway, hold on. Fucking allergies. All right. So with that said, where can they find you, Count Jacula?
Oh, you can find me at Counting Jacula, one word, on Twitter. You can find me at Satanic Jacula on Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitch at Count_Jacula, where I stream twice, soon to be 3 times a week, on Thursday and Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. How about you?
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru, and I have fucking allergies. Anyway, you can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitch. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Spider Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you would like to help out either of us more directly, then be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to put...
She's gonna have kittens.
Alright, hashtag she's gonna have kittens if you made it this far into the vlog so that I know. Put that in the comment below. Hashtag she's gonna have kittens so that I know that you read this vlog, that you watched this vlog all the way through. We're gonna make it through this vlog. We're gonna get it. So that if you watch this vlog all the way through, put hashtag she's gonna have kittens in the comment section below. And with that said, peace out.